Two, one. Hello, internet. Welcome to
Hello,
YouTube.
everyone.
I'm just getting over my cold, which is why my voice sounds a little weird. But we're here finally, a few days late, to talk about the lovely film that was The Marvels. John's finally seen it, and boy oh boy, what a masterpiece.
Dude, it was 10 out of 10, and it was honestly my favorite movie I've ever seen.
I expected no less.
Mm-hmm.
I'd put it up there with Oppenheimer as
Oh,
far as
dude, gotta be
cinematography.
easily. But dude, the CGI, absolutely beautiful.
Dude, the actresses really like put in the performances of a lifetime. Like, which which of the which of these three do you think will be winning the Oscar? All three of them will get nominated.
Oh, dude. Um, Honestly, I think I gotta go with Rambo. I think
Mm,
she's just the best. Okay, real talk. This movie was not great, but I still enjoyed it to an extent, and I
hmm.
still think it's not as bad as Quantumania or Love and Thunder.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
still not where the direction that I want the MCU to go, but it wasn't horrible.
I was trying to put this into words on the last stream. I don't think this is quite the win that all the MCU people thought it would be, just because like this movie
No.
doesn't take itself seriously. It's not like Captain Marvel where like there were obviously politics in it and like they were taking the character very seriously. This was a joke of a movie, which is fine.
Yeah. Well, it's also I didn't really feel that much like woke or feminism coming from this movie.
Mhm.
It was more just, if anything, this movie's just a comedy.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and you could say like, hey, Thor: Love and Thunder was a comedy, and that was really offensive. And it's like, well, yeah, that was with a character that we all cared about. These are three
Yeah.
like nobodies, pretty much.
That's
So
also with a character that has three established movies and multiple other movies that we've seen him in.
yeah, plus
And
his character journey, like he was coming off of Fat Thor, so we were already
true.
yeah. Anyway, so talk about the thoughts that you have. I've already gotten mine out a little bit.
Okay. My thoughts on the movie. The villain was just super mid. I was expecting an absolutely abysmal villain. It wasn't that bad.
She wasn't
At
like
like
cringe necessarily.
no. I just like she wasn't. I don't know. I just didn't care.
Well, her
Like,
motivation, like nothing about what she does makes any sense. So like logically it's bad, but like
part of it is because Captain Marvel goes and destroys the what's it called? The Supreme Intelligence or something?
yeah, she destroys the AI and for some reason that means that their atmosphere goes out and their sun dies, something like that.
Yeah, because he's like basically the brain of everything, so they don't really have to think through stuff like that. I don't know how that would make the sun die. I
Dude,
really don't.
this movie was
I
edited down so much. Like,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, there were sometimes where there were action scenes I was like, "Ooh, that's cool." And then there's sometimes I was like, "Why did you edit it that way? And why did you do the CGI that way?" So, yeah. Um
I want to hear your thoughts on Brie Larson as a character.
Dude, she was so much better in this movie.
Right?
Like by a long shot.
Can you put your finger on what exactly it is?
She has more humanity to her.
Yeah.
Almost. She's has more humanity. So in Captain Marvel, she's super just stoic and emotionless. Even in Endgame, she's a little stoic and emotionless. Not as much as in her movie, but in this movie, um, she cared about multiple things, and she had like actual like character development to an extent, and
Yeah.
that made like a lot of difference.
She was like, oh, what did I say on the Minecraft live stream? something about how she's just not like she's not as uptight. Like she was very
Mm,
uptight in Endgame and in Captain Marvel, and with this for whatever reason she was just like she was pretty loose. I wouldn't go so far as to say she was like fun, but you could definitely tell like she was just like I don't know. It's hard to describe. She was way more enjoyable to watch.
she was. She was. This felt a lot more like Kong Skull Island, Brie Larson.
Yeah, which I haven't seen, but I plan on
You should
eventually.
you should check it out. It's an awesome movie, dude. We need to watch that together because it is a great movie.
Okay, I've
I
heard good
love it.
things.
Yeah, dude. Like Sam Jackson. What more can you ask for?
So people have had pretty positive opinions about Iman Vellani. Is that what her name
I'm
is
on
for Miss
one. Yeah,
Marvel?
yeah.
What did
Hmm.
you think? Because I tended towards a little annoying, but
I liked her. She was a little annoying at the beginning. I was like, okay, maybe that's a bit much. I get that that's her character. I will say the back half of the movie, she's not as much like that. And I think that's because she sees all those people die and she kind of becomes a bit more serious, which I'm glad they did that because she needed to start growing up at some point. So
yeah.
she wasn't the most annoying thing the MCU's ever done.
I
I,
assume, yeah, we don't need to talk about any of the logic behind this because it all, like, none of it actually makes sense. So, like, whenever there's like a plot
no.
breakdown, it's all gonna break down. This
Yeah.
movie is very like it's very dumb, but it was not like it was very short, wasn't it? It felt very
Yeah.
short.
Yeah. I will say this movie does run into the problem of, oh, there's a giant spaceship that's pulling up that's about to destroy the entire sun. What's Doctor Strange doing? What's Thor doing? I don't know. Now, this is an issue that's been in the MCU before. I know Thor the Dark World, there's a lot of complaints cuz there's like a hole that rips open in the sky and like
Hmm.
no one does anything about it except two F-16s. Um
Yeah, man.
So I know that this is an issue that the MCU's had before, so it's not at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. But
Well, the bad guy's plan breaks down to like she wants to take uh Brie Larson's like husband's planet. She wants to take their water because they're out of water. She
Mhm.
wants to take the atmosphere of some uh Skrulls. She wants to take their
Yeah,
atmosphere, whatever that's supposed to mean, and she wants to take the power of the sun from Earth. And if she had taken any of those things from like emptier planets, then she would have been just fine. But Captain
yeah.
Marvel is not happy with this, and so they're chasing her down.
Well, the issue is that she's like trying to hurt Captain Marvel because she feels she's trying to get revenge for Captain Marvel going and destroying um, Supreme Intelligence. But I wish we would have gotten more of that because there's just the one scene where she flies in, blows it up,
Yeah.
shoots some rocks down from the ceiling. So, like, it's cool and all, but I wish we would have gotten to see more of it. Also, isn't this the shortest MCU movie?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so there was obviously time to do more.
Well, the original cut of
Um,
this movie, I think, was like 2 hours, 40 minutes, something like that. Like, I think there's
um,
so much context that they took out, and I'm not sad that we missed out on that.
yeah, I will say the movie moves super fast. Like, you're on scene, scene, scene over and over. Um,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of stuff. Uh, it is cool that they actually had them like train the swapping stuff and like actually get that down because
It was fun.
if they would have just shown up into battle and they just have it all figured out, that would have been lame.
Yeah. Well, I listened to an extensive breakdown of like all the stuff, and
Hmm.
like the whole switching thing, the movie breaks its own rules a whole bunch of times. So we're not exactly sure like how it works, but like
Yeah.
it's whatever. I don't know what to say.
Hmm. Yeah. Um, I do think it is interesting. Like, this movie's obviously the lowest box office performance Marvel's ever had. It's got a horrible score on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, what's it at?
Uh, dude, you want to check? You want to double check what it's currently at? Last I looked, it was at like 50 or 40 something. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, I can't check with the way my streaming's set up for
Check.
now, but
I'll check.
I'll get a dual monitor system eventually.
Dude, I'm actually getting a dual monitor system pretty soon.
Really? That's gonna be great.
Yeah. Oh, it went up. You know
Yay.
what? So, wow, this is interesting. Okay. 62 for the critics, 84 for the audience.
Oh.
That is interesting.
Hmm.
That's really interesting. Okay.
Lots of people are
So,
gonna go for the
first
angle
off-
that that's rigged. I'm not sure.
Oh, definitely. First off, I want to first point out that no one on Twitter's talking about how the critic review moved up. Because, like, when it dropped and it was like 40 something, everyone's like, oh my gosh, this movie's going to destroy the MCU. Like, this is the worst thing we've ever seen. I think it is funny that, like, they're not talking about that anymore. I think, like you said, this is not the movie the MCU people were hoping it would be.
Well, it kind of is, as in, like, it's a box office bomb, but it's just not, like, it's not offensive enough to warrant the hate that, like,
Oh, no.
Quantumania or Love and Thunder got. Or even Captain Marvel. Like, Captain Marvel is an awful movie. This is, I'd say this is maybe not better logically than Captain Marvel, but it's definitely better in aesthetics and, like, enjoyability.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I will say this movie does make me more interested in the Miss Marvel show
Oh.
because I haven't seen it. And her parents, like her whole family's hilarious in the movie.
Yeah, her family was pretty good in the show, from what I remember. It's kind of a crazy show. She, like, time travels and stuff.
Interesting.
But everyone forgot it existed, so.
Dude, let's talk about Nick Fury in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
So, I haven't seen Secret Invasion. But from what I understand, he seems to be better in this than he was in Secret Invasion.
Yeah, that's what I understand, too. He seems to be playing, like, the goofy old uncle kind of character.
Mhm.
Like, when, I kind of laughed when... it was like Monica and Miss Marvel. They were falling from the sky, and right before they hit the ground, it turned into Captain Marvel, and he was like, "Oh!" Everyone was panicking, and he was like, "Oh, it's just Carol. It's cool." And then it cuts right after that.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And then, like, the whole, like, I mean, he spends most of his time on the ship with the Flurkins, which just ends up being like a comedic bit. So, like, I don't know what they were going for, but it was just for the funnies. So,
dude, I was laughing so hard when they did the whole
kind of
scene.
Yeah,
and they were like, all the little baby Flurkins are running around eating everyone.
like, I've seen a lot of hate for that scene. I don't know, man. Like,
I don't get it. I thought it was funny.
I guess I get it if you, like, still take the MCU seriously, but who does that at this point? Like,
Yeah. And I think, like, even back in, like, the previous MCU, I mean, you have movies like Ant-Man and the Wasp that exist where a Pez dispenser was made massive and flew down the road. So, like, there are movies in the MCU that are not meant to be taken as seriously as others. And the problem is we've lost a lot of the seriousness in most of our movies.
yeah.
And I think this is an issue. I think movies like Guardians of the Galaxy and the Marvels, like, those can be funny and it works.
Yeah.
But there's other movies such as, I don't know, Thor Love and Thunder. Like, it should be taken more seriously. Now, looking back on it, Eternals actually kind of takes itself seriously, which is cool.
Well, Thor Ragnarok would be a great example of a movie that's, like, kind of a comedy, like a lot of comedy, but in the moments that matter, well, at least for most of the matters, at least most of the moments, besides, like, the Asgard, man, I can't talk. Basically, like, the moments the characters that they have with Loki and Thor and
Yeah.
Valkyrie and Hulk, like they take those characters very seriously and they give them time to develop, and they don't rush into jokes all the time, even though it is a very like comedic movie.
Yeah. Another great example of that is Invincible. Invincible can be really funny at times. And there's other times where like when it needs to be serious, it will be super serious.
Yeah.
Um,
And I didn't
which is
feel
cool.
serious throughout any of the Marvels.
Oh no, I don't think this movie's meant for you to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Um,
There's like
yeah,
that
I think
one bit that they tried to make a whole big deal of with Carol and Monica, like having awkward
yeah,
history, and I just like I don't know. I guess they were trying to take it seriously, but I don't know of anyone who thought that that was like emotionally relatable necessarily.
yeah, no. Um, yeah, it didn't really hit too hard for me.
Yeah.
Like I was cool with it. I wasn't like upset they're doing it or anything. I was just like, yeah. Um, but yeah, what did you think of the post credits scene
Oh, yeah.
or
Um
mid credits scene? Sorry.
I'm not gonna lie, it's really weird to hear people like talking about a reboot and the MCU just keeps on introducing more and more angles. I haven't seen the X-Men movies yet, but like I'm planning on getting through all of them, and I'm worried that yeah, I wouldn't trust the MCU with anything at this point. I don't know how well
No,
beloved those X-Men movies are, but I know that they do
dude.
have a fan base, especially for Hugh Jackman. So
Oh, the really good ones have. I mean, even some of the not as good ones. Which, dude, I would argue that X Men Origins and X Men 3, the current MCU Phase 4, makes them look like a masterpiece. But
that's what I hear. Yeah.
yeah, like I'm actually looking back on the movies. I'm like, maybe those weren't so bad.
Yeah.
No, X Men 1 and 2 have a massive fan base. First Class, dude, First Class is an amazing movie. I love it, and so is Days of Future Past. Apocalypse, not as
Yeah.
much. That movie's pretty bad.
I saw the only
Obviously,
yeah.
Logan,
Hmm.
absolute perfection of cinema.
The only X-Men movie I've seen is the first one, and I really liked it. So
Yeah, I am worried about that. Like they already made Charles look stupid in Multiverse of Madness. Dude,
oh
I don't
yeah.
want them making more characters look stupid. Bro, if they make Magneto look stupid,
Oh.
I will get so mad. I will come on stream and just rant for an hour straight.
So, is any part of you excited for this? For this, like, could you get excited for
Slightly.
this?
If I can get confirmation that it's in good hands, then yes. But if this is gonna go down the same route as like say Multiverse of Madness, I'm not gonna be as excited.
I have a conspiracy theory that isn't provable at all, but
What's up?
I suspect that Kevin Feige leaked that post-credit scene to generate hype about the movie because it was really weird. No one was talking about it, and then suddenly everyone knew about it a couple weeks out, and everyone was
So
like, "Oh yeah, that's coming," and they started incorporating it into the marketing too. So
did you come up with that idea all on your own? I'm curious.
yeah,
That's been a conspiracy for a long time. That
yeah.
there's been certain users on Reddit that have leaked stuff, and it's been really sus because it almost seems like as if they're testing the waters with like the fan base to see how the fan base reacts to certain things.
Yeah. Well,
And
it's
this
weird
could
because
be the same
again,
thing.
yeah, there wasn't anything, and then maybe like 3 weeks out, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, apparently there's this credit scene," and they even like, I'm not sure if you saw the Avengers. Oh no, we watched it together, the trailer for the Marvels, and
Oh yeah.
apparently on like you have to be around for what comes next. The X hovered around a little longer. Like
Mm,
I feel like this was very they really want us to get excited about the X-Men.
See, okay, I could get excited about it if I know it's in good hands. I'll get excited about it. But I mean, dude, the only big Marvel project I'm excited for right now, like genuinely excited for, is Deadpool 3. Because most likely it's in good hands. I mean, most likely. If it's not, I'm gonna cry, dude.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to talk about it when it comes out, but that's the old. It
For a
still
while.
shocks me. That's the only Marvel film next year. Like, that's crazy.
Dude, I honestly think that's for the best. I think Marvel needs to kind of take a deep breath and kind of reassess
Yeah,
their movies. Oh, I
but
did want to talk about this with you since we're on the topic of movies.
mm,
I don't know if you noticed, but the director that was going to direct Kang Dynasty is not on that
oh
movie
yeah.
anymore. They removed him from it. It was the same guy that did Shang-Chi. What are your thoughts on that, especially regarding the Jonathan Majors situation?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. I think that project's gonna get scrapped like easily. I don't like there have been rumors for a while that they're trying to get rid of Jonathan Majors. With this Loki finale and everything going on, I think they're definitely gonna turn that movie into something else or scrap it entirely.
I think I am on board with you get Doctor Doom to come in and you set up you just do Secret Wars. Just do it. You don't okay, some people are like, "Oh, you need all this setup." Like there was all this setup for Thanos. There were teases for Thanos. Like he smiled and put on a gauntlet.
Hmm.
All right, there wasn't a whole bunch of character setup for Thanos. There's a little bit.
There was that one scene in Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was
Yes,
pretty much
that was
it.
the exact one I was thinking of. Now I love that scene. That scene's actually awesome looking back on it because I mean he has that one line to Ronan like,
Your
if you fail me,
politics
I'll.
bore me.
He says, "I'll bathe the stallways in your blood," and I
Oh,
was like, "Oh, that's so cool." Um, so obviously he has a reputation, but I think, I mean, dude, weren't they okay? Weren't they originally going to set up Doctor Doom in Wakanda Forever? Which, looking back on that movie, I'm really glad they didn't. But
well, they were supposed to set up like that movie was supposed to be completely different. I remember hearing rumors way out.
mhm.
And that movie, that's one of my least favorite Marvel movies. But yeah, I think Doctor Doom was supposed to be set up, or no, maybe it was either that or Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It was one of those two that he was supposed to be set up in. If I
Yeah,
remember correctly.
yeah,
Yeah, you said that you think it's a good thing that Marvel's only got one film next year coming out. I can't tell
yeah,
if I agree or disagree because on the one hand, obviously they can't stop making bad stuff, but I think their image looks so bad now that they really need to come out with a couple good movies. They need to start coming out with like a few consistently good movies and like pretty quick because everyone right now knows that the MCU is dying. So
yeah.
it's not looking good.
Well, what's on their slate? We got Deadpool 3,
Hmm.
Cap 4,
Yeah,
Fantastic Four.
Blade.
Oh, boy, I forgot that's a thing. Um, I
Uh,
mean, dude,
wait, are
the
any of those
rumors that they're
sequels?
reshooting Cap 4 because it's bad scares me so much.
It bothers me that they're calling it Cap 4. This is really stupid.
Uh,
Um,
I
but
do like that Harrison Ford is General Ross. I think that's a good cast.
yeah, didn't they? I heard just today, I think, that they ended up doing 5 months of reshoots for that movie. So,
Yeah,
which is a
dude, that's
lot.
crazy. That is a lot. I hope they make some good changes. I do
Yeah.
think, dude, I'm just gonna go right up there and say it. I don't care. We need some male energy in the MCU right now.
Little bit. What do you think
We
about Thor
really
5,
do.
dude? We could have Thor 5.
Well,
Let's
Taika
go.
isn't directing it, which thank goodness, bro. I that was confirmed that Taika's not directing it, so that
Yeah.
makes me happy. I'm curious who they put on that.
What do you? So now that we're kind of in the realm of Phase 5, let's talk about Fantastic Four in the news that came out today. What do you think of the casting?
Okay. I love Pedro Pascal. He's in a lot of cool stuff, and
Uh-huh.
I've wanted to see him in the MCU. I just never pictured him as Reed Richards, dude. Okay, so for those of you that don't know, it got supposedly confirmed today that Pedro Pascal is Reed Richards for the Fantastic Four. And I love
Man,
Pedro Pascal. I really do.
yeah.
Dude, cast him as like Doctor Doom or something. But Reed Richards is such a weird choice to me.
Dude, it annoys me to no end because I think John Krasinski could make a good Mr. Fantastic.
I liked him in Multiverse of Madness. I didn't like what they did with Reed Richards' character in
Well, he
Multiverse
had a
of
great
Madness.
look, but he had stupid lines, but like I feel like that I feel like that scene received such negative backlash. Like it was what you're talking about where they're kind of monitoring the fan base and that was like a test to see if fans liked that or not. It was a dumb movie, okay? It's not his fault.
Well, it didn't help that they have him go and tell Wanda the exact thing she needs to do. That was so stupid. He just goes like, "Oh, he opens his mouth. He's like, oh, one word from Black Bolt's mouth, and you'll be obliterated."
Yeah. Again, I think that scene received just such negative backlash that they were like, "Oh, well, looks like the fans don't want John Krasinski in any way, shape, or form in the future." It's like, no, you learn you can always trust them to learn the wrong lesson. It's
Yeah,
depressing.
I do think some of the other possible casting ideas that they had before Pedro Pascal were better. Like
I saw a couple
dude,
of those.
even Adam Driver I would prefer
Hmm.
over Pedro Pascal. Jack Quaid was another one. He
Oh,
plays
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Huey in The Boys, and he's in Oppenheimer actually.
Yeah, he's the assistant, right? For
I
okay.
love Jack Quaid. I think he's awesome.
Yeah. Pedro Pascal, he's a very like popular actor and he's charismatic and I can see why they did it. But
Yeah,
I can see a lot of fans pointing out that he doesn't look at all like the character. Um
yeah. This is also gonna give more ammo for uh certain people that don't like the MCU, and I
well, it's just like I'm
it's
sorry,
just
but
like
right now is not like the time to be playing race games with this. Like you want
yeah.
to probably keep the comic fans happy cuz you've outraged them so much.
Mhm. I just like, okay, if I was in charge of the MCU, it's not that hard to go on Twitter, go on YouTube. You can see how people are feeling. It's really not that hard. Go
Well,
on freaking Reddit.
I don't know,
It's
man.
just
Like, I feel like we're kind of in the minority here because when I look at Twitter, I find a lot of people being very
really.
positive about like modern MCU. I see a lot of love for the Marvels. I'm seeing a lot of love for Pedro
Interesting.
Pascal. I saw obviously a
I
lot of love for Loki. Like, I don't know that this would be like. I kind of agree with you, but I don't. I think if they were to keep an eye on Twitter, they'd see a lot of support for their decisions.
mm, I haven't really seen it as much support for the Pedro Pascal decision. Um, Now the thing is, Pedro Pascal just has a huge fan base for just Pedro
Mm-hmm.
Pascal. So you're gonna have people that like that. And I think fan bases for one particular actor or actress or just celebrity in general can tend to be really loud. Um,
Sure.
Not naming any Taylor Swift. But so you got that. I saw a lot of like people that I like to follow saying like, look, we like Pedro Pascal, we want to see him in the MCU, but this just feels like a weird role to cast him in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Also, if he is actually cast as Reed Richards, we're never seeing his face on The Mandalorian ever again. I hope you all know that.
Oh, yeah. Well, I heard there was already a lot of controversy between him and the Mandalorian people.
Yeah. Do you know the story behind that?
I'm well, yeah, I know at this point he's just like recording lines and sending them over, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess like I don't hate it. Like it could like I guess worse decisions have worked better. Like the race swapping
True.
on House of the Dragon worked great. So like this it could
One.
be fine, and I do like Pedro Pascal as an actor, so I don't hate it. It's just like, man, I feel like I would have easily given that back to John Krasinski and seen what he would have done with it.
I'm just I'm just disappointed because there's other roles, like particularly Doctor Doom, that I would have liked to have seen him in. I think I got a few people in mind who I would cast for Doctor Doom. I got a hot take. I think Giancarlo Esposito would be great as Doctor Doom as well. Um,
Oh,
like that would be a race
yeah,
swap. But that would be a dope race swap.
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Giancarlo Esposito. I think
Although,
he's awesome.
yeah, at this point, I'd say like, if you're a famous actor, stay away from the MCU. Like, you know what they did with oh shoot, man, I'm forgetting his name. It's been a long day. Zeus in Thor: Love and Thunder. Oh, what's his name? The guy in Craven
Dude,
the Hunter.
I know who.
Gladiator Man. What's
Yeah,
his name?
Gladiator, Russell Crowe.
Yeah, yeah,
Dude, he's such a good actor, but they gave him a horrible role.
yeah. Yeah. Matt Damon.
So sad.
Man.
Mm.
Anyway, the only other thing, I guess, is the fantastic Madam Web trailer that released today.
Yeah, so that's a thing
How
that
lovely.
they're doing. It looks like a CW show. It feels like a CW show. And that is not what I'm looking for right now. I was okay. The concept of this movie could work. I really think it could. I think there's some cool stuff that they're playing with that they can it could be cool. But that trailer was not it, bro.
It was a it was a jumbled mess of a trailer. I couldn't tell like I couldn't make sense of what it was trying to tell me was happening. Also, like, yeah, sure, bring Sydney Sweeney into the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Why not? Do it. I guess this technically isn't the MCU, but still, like, yeah, 50 Shades of Grey lady is now in the MCU. Yay.
Yeah.
Let's go. How exciting.
Dude, it's kind of crazy. There's three. Wait, what's the long name that they said is like for their Marvel stuff? Was it Sony's universe of Marvel characters or
Really.
something stupid like that?
Dude, so I got a question about
There's three of
Sony.
those coming out in 2024.
Um so Sony has produced like a really great Spider-Man Home trilogy, and two pretty great Spider-Verse movies, especially the first one.
Yeah.
Um, but here they go. They release Venom, which I hated, and Let There Be Carnage, which I've heard bad things about. Then they
Have you
go
not
and
seen
release.
Every
I
Carnage?
haven't seen Let There Be Carnage yet. Then they release Morbius, one of like the biggest meme movie of all time, and uh and now they're releasing Craven and Madam Web, two movies which absolutely no one is excited for.
While we're on the topic, I want everyone to know I saw Morbius in theaters. Okay, dude, that was an experience that I had.
Uh,
That
remember
that
when
movie is so
Sony
weird.
re-released the movie because they thought that they like re-released it into the theaters because they thought that everyone loved it.
Dude, dude, I forgot about that. Yet, and it like didn't make any money.
Yeah. Well, and then Craven, which I watched the trailer for, and I was like, "Oh, that's lame." Before I watched it, you guys pulled up. You were like, "Guess how Craven got his powers?" And I was like, "Oh, did he get bitten by a radioactive lion?" He literally got bitten by a radioactive lion.
Yeah. Oh, dude, so funny.
Anyway,
I
Sony's a
hear
mess. Like, where's the fourth
yeah,
Spider-Man movie?
that's a great question. I hear Craven the Hunter is actually really good in the Spider-Man 2 game.
Oh, well. Is he like the only aspect of the Spider-Man 2 game that people like? I've
I'm not
heard bad
I
things
heard a
about
lot of
that game.
positive things. You know, it got
Really?
nominated for Game of the Year.
Oh, really? I've heard that
Yeah.
it's like
It's
20
got
hours of gameplay and it's not great.
Yeah, I think it is a bit short, which isn't good because I think Arkham Knight took me a lot longer to beat. Um, yeah, I need to play through those games because I've heard they're actually good.
Hmm.
Um,
Well, just like
yeah, I don't know.
I guess
But
just to
Spider-Man 2
cap
got
off
nominated for Game of the Year.
any like Sony movie talk, Spider-Man No Way Home left on a note that even like people who hated Spider-Man Homecoming and Far From Home enjoyed because they were like, okay, now we're gonna get this new version of Spider-Man. He's gonna be like living in this dingy apartment and like solving crime, and he's got this new suit, and it's gonna be great. And we haven't heard anything from them, and
No.
I'm a little bit disappointed because Tom Holland's Spider-Man is at this point one of the best characters in the MCU, like one of the only people that has escaped the all the character assassinations, the rampage that the MCU has gone on.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, there's a lot of stuff in Phase 4 that's just not explained. Like in Eternals, how a celestial came out of the ocean and is just there, and we're just not talking about that, apparently.
Well,
Apparently,
yeah.
no one cares that there's a giant hand sticking out of the ocean.
Yeah. I guess I just you got characters like Thor, which everyone loved, and then Thor Love and Thunder happened. And I feel like Marvel, if it's gonna come back, it can make new characters that people love, but bringing back Tom Holland can't hurt.
Yeah. Dude, I feel like there's a lot of threads in the MCU, like Phase 4, that just aren't getting followed. Like, one I would love to see what happened with is Black Knight from Eternals. The Kit Harington
Oh
character.
yeah,
Like,
that's
Nick
right.
Fury went and got him. And, dude, I think Kit Harington's awesome in that role. I would love to see more of him, but we're not talking about it, I guess.
Was he gonna show up in the Blade movie? Was that like the next thing
I
for
don't
him?
know. I don't know about that.
Hmm. What about Harry Styles? Harry Styles was in a
Oh, yeah.
post-credit scene.
That's a thing that happened. Nothing was done with that.
Dude, I would love to go through
Okay.
all of the post-credit scenes and just like try and come out with a tangled web of what the MCU is going to be in the future.
Yeah. Oh, Thunderbolts is a thing that's coming out later
Oh
down the road.
yeah.
And I know they actually are trying to set that up, which I do appreciate. Cuz I think Thunderbolts has the potential to be amazing
It has the
if done
potential to
right.
be great. I mean,
You
John
got
Walker, my favorite
John
character.
Walker, you got Bucky,
Yeah.
you got Elena, you got Taskmaster, frick.
Oh no,
Um,
is Taskmaster in that?
Aside from Taskmaster, I think
Oh
it could be good.
no. Oh shoot, what's that? They have Ghost from Ant-Man and the Wasp, who I enjoyed. I know I'm in the minority, but whatever.
I
Uh,
forgot she existed.
yeah,
So.
yeah, yeah. And then, uh, who's the other person that's gonna be in it? I know, Red Guardian is probably gonna be in it, but there's,
Yeah. I like Red
um,
Guardian.
well,
He's like,
dude, I hate Black Widow. It's such a
yeah,
terrible
he's
movie.
like the only entertaining part of that
He
movie.
was pretty entertaining, but the movie hated on him so much.
Oh, the movie did hate on him, but I like David Harbour, and I think under like good direction, his character could be really cool.
Oh, wasn't Baron Zemo supposed to be in the Thunderbolts too?
Yeah,
Like,
dude, I'm
if
down
he
for more Baron.
is, dude, Baron Zemo is like the best character in the MCU at this point.
Dude, if they're doing Thunderbolts, like Baron Zemo should be like sort of like team captain. It just
Obviously,
makes sense. It just makes sense.
he's great. He's
He
great.
really.
I mean, oh yeah, Daniel Brühl is a fantastic actor. But
Mhm.
anyway, should we cap it off there? Is that all the
Yeah. Oh,
conversation
one
about the
more thing
Marvels?
before we
Oh,
cap it out. Um, the end of the Marvels kind of set this up. Young Avengers.
oh yeah,
How do you feel about that? So, for those of you that don't know,
oh yeah. We do have to talk
at
about this.
the end of Captain Marvel, Miss Marvel goes and finds
Kate Bishop.
Kate Bishop. I wasn't sure what her superhero name. I guess she doesn't have one. She goes and finds Kate Bishop, and she's like, "Hey, let's start a team. Let's work together." So it's setting up Young Avengers. How do you feel of that, considering our current Young Avengers lineup?
I feel like Haley Steinfeld is hot, so I will be happy with whatever.
That's a good take. I agree with that take.
So lots of people seem to think that the Young Avengers lineup would include Wanda's children. That's an insane take. They're not going to be anywhere near the Young Avengers. They're way too young and they don't even exist. But
Yeah, I was gonna say, aren't they like not around or something?
yeah, well, I mean, they don't exist in this universe and they'd be way too young anyway. Like, you're not looking at that lineup. What you are looking at is you're looking at Ironheart, one of the, like, more forgettable than Ghost, honestly.
Mhm.
And who is kind of a terrible person as well. You have Ant-Man's daughter, who no one liked. Like, find me someone who liked her.
Yeah.
You have Shuri, potentially, who's fine. Like, she's a fine, I guess. Miss Marvel, who's again fine. Uh, who else am I blanking out on here? Shoot.
Spider-Man.
Oh, potentially Spider-Man, although who knows? I guess he has one
I guess
movie
they
left in
made
his
everyone
contract.
forget about him, so I don't know.
Maybe. And then I guess you could have Young Hulk or Scar, potentially.
Dude, we don't speak of such things. That
Mm.
that is possibly that might be the one of the worst haircuts I've ever seen on television.
So the main three, though, the main three you definitely know you're getting is Kate Bishop, Miss Marvel, and Ant-Man's daughter. You're batting 1 out of 3 on that one. Maybe 2 out of 3.
Yeah, I'm cool with Miss Marvel and I'm cool with Kate Bishop. I did not like Cassie Lang
What?
in Ant-Man 3.
She was so nice to her father all the time.
Oh, yeah, dude, she gave the greatest speech in cinema.
Oh no. I hated that so much.
My hate for that movie is just unparalleled.
Oh,
That
oh
was
my
the
goodness.
biggest waste of my time.
So, yeah, Young Avengers, I don't know, man. Like, I enjoy Kate Bishop. So, like, that's about the best I can say. I know I'm forgetting
Yeah.
someone as far as the Young Avengers lineup.
America Chavez.
That was it. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. It was like, yay, another one. Again, not to be that guy, but they're all women. Like,
Really?
I'm sorry, but we're
See, it's getting to see. Originally, everyone was saying like, "Oh, it's the MCU," and I was like, "Nah, not really. You know, we're still good."
I'd like to see like
Kind of changing. I don't know.
I'd like to see a couple teenage guys. I don't know. Like it's okay to
Yeah,
include those.
that'd be kind of cool.
I
Be
don't
able to
know.
relate a little bit. I don't know.
Like not to hate on female characters or anything, but like I feel like it'd be more realistic if you are going to have young superheroes. Maybe you have a couple guys in there.
Yeah. Other than Scar, and like, I think like at this point you do need Spider-Man on that team.
Yeah, you got. Well,
You gotta make it work somehow.
Tom Holland has one more MCU movie in his contract, from what I understand.
Yeah. And it's
So
probably gonna be Avengers,
yeah,
realistically.
yeah, man. You could always try and bring back that character from Iron Man 3 who showed up in Endgame.
Oh yeah, dude, I'd be cool with that.
Well, originally I thought they were gonna make him Ironheart. I thought that was the route they were gonna go,
Yeah,
but
that'd be cool.
nope. It has to
That would have
be.
made sense too, if you think about it.
It had to be some random lady with some parts in her garage.
Yeah, I to this day I don't understand why she was in that movie. I also don't understand that movie, so
That movie was bad. Dude,
yeah.
how is it possible for a multi-billion-dollar company to consistently make just like not just bad movies, not just Spider-Man 3 bad movies, but like some of the worst movies ever made legitimately.
Dude, hold on. Let's think through phase 4 and let's just talk about each project. And like, yeah, Black Widow. Awful. You got Shang-Chi. Shang-Chi brought everyone's hopes up. We were like, oh, this is cool. Obviously, there's some problems towards the end of that movie we could talk about. Overall, it was a lot better than Black Widow. You got what? Eternals. I think people were pretty positive on Eternals ish.
No, I think it did really badly on Rotten Tomatoes.
Did it?
Yeah.
Well, you're right. It did, dude. Part of that is because the third act of that movie is so weird. I like the
Um,
first two acts of that movie, then the third act just loses me.
and I would say that Shang-Chi was pretty bad, but it was actually probably the best of Phase 4.
hmm
Um,
You got No Way Home. Obviously, people love that.
yeah, which I
Uh,
rewatched and like it's it's not great. It there are good parts.
yeah,
That's about it. Yeah.
it relies a lot on nostalgia.
It does. But Willem Dafoe is great. Andrew Garfield is great. Tobey Maguire is great.
Willem Dafoe's the best actor in that movie. Changed my mind.
Yeah, no kidding. And
I'd
Andrew
say Andrew
Garfield,
would be second.
yeah, finally proving all of the TASM lovers right all along. Andrew Garfield.
Dude, it's facts. Andrew had a bad script. That's just what it was. He's a good Spider-Man actor.
He's a fantastic Peter Parker and a fantastic Spider-Man.
Yeah. What was after No Way Home? Was that
Uh,
Doctor Strange 2, right?
well, I think we're. Oh shoot, we've got to be missing a couple, right? Yeah,
I guess
it would
shows,
be.
but all of
Oh
the
yeah,
shows are L's at this point.
yeah. Doctor Strange 2, which, when you break it down, is the worst movie ever made. Uh, there's a 6 hour long breakdown on Mahler's channel you can listen to, and it breaks down why that is the worst movie ever made. So
Yeah.
check it out. Um,
Um,
Thor:
there's
Love
what
and Thunder.
Forever.
Oh,
Thor: Love
yeah.
and Thunder.
Yeah.
Thor: Love and Thunder was awful. So you have a lot of L's back to back here. You have Doctor Strange 2, massive L. Thor: Love and Thunder, massive L. You got Wakanda Forever. Maybe
hate that
not as much
movie.
of an. It wasn't overall. It wasn't as much of an L as those other two, but it still wasn't great.
Dude, it was bad. It was like bottom of
Yeah.
the barrel, 2%, rotting in the corpse of an alligator for the last 58 days.
No, I agree with you. It wasn't a good movie. I do think like the public perception of it was more positive than the other two, not by much,
Sure.
but it was.
No, I
it
would
was a
agree. Lots of people think that Wakanda Forever was one of the good ones.
You got what else do you got?
Quantumania is next, wouldn't it be?
Yeah, that is the worst MCU movie by far. I hate that movie so much.
It's really bad. There's another 6 hour long
Oh,
breakdown of
Guardians
that you can
3.
listen to.
Guardians 3.
Well, that would
That
be
was
phase
decent.
5, but yeah.
Well, yeah, I guess like it doesn't matter at this point. Guardians 3 was decent.
I like Guardians 3.
Yeah, and now we got the Marvels, which is not as bad as as a lot of the movies that I've listed.
Yeah, dude, how much out of curiosity, because I've seen a decent amount of, like, I've seen hate from the people I regularly listen to on this movie, but just generally on Twitter, I've seen, like, a decent amount of positivity towards it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've seen that as well. I mean, obviously you got you always got your both sides. You got some people that they're gonna hate it, and you got some people that they're gonna love it. In between those, where I really try to look, and it's mostly positive.
Yeah. Which is kind of bizarre. Like, it's not a good movie by any means, but I guess it was fine.
No.
No, it wasn't fine. It was fun, kind of.
Yeah. It's because, like, plot wise, I give it like a 1 out of 10. Enjoyabilities wise, and just the overall experience, I was like a 6.5 at least. I had a good time.
I would give it a 6 out of 10 enjoyability. Sure, why not?
Um. So yeah,
I don't think people are going to be talking about this movie for as long as they were talking about the Marvels. Or sorry, I don't think people are going to be talking about the Marvels for as long as they were talking about Captain Marvel. I think Captain Marvel was like
not.
so offensive to a lot of people and just a very bad sign for things to come. People still talk about that movie. I don't think anyone's going to be talking about this movie even like 6 months from now.
Oh no, it's super. Well, also because like 3 people saw it, so
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to
yeah,
make $1 billion, we'll say that much.
absolutely not. That is pretty bad. I it does blow my mind that Captain Marvel made that much money. It does make sense because of where it was slated.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Well, when I was listening through that, the rise of the MCU or the Empire of the Empire Marvel, whatever that book was called, they were talking about this philosophy that sequels will generally make just about as much as the first one. So I imagine that was their thought process with
Oh,
this one.
oh,
It's just
dude, where
not.
did that thought process come from?
Well, it came probably before like the dramatic decrease in quality.
I mean, I guess like I guess it sort of stands to reason.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, well,
It depends. Like if it's good, then yeah, sure. But I don't know.
what a movie. Like I'm already forgetting most of it. I remember a
Yeah.
couple. Oh, I actually haven't gotten your thoughts on this yet. What did you feel about the dance sequence?
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be.
The whole singing bit? Did you
It
find it
was
like fun
cringe.
or oh cringe? Okay.
I just thought it was cringe. But it wasn't nearly as bad as what a lot of people made it out to be. It was fine.
Mhm.
Like it was fine. Um yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't go on that long. Like someone said it lasted for 10 minutes. That did not feel like 10 minutes. That felt like 5.
Yeah, for real. I said this on the Minecraft stream, but maybe it's just because I've watched so many rom-coms at this point. I just
Mhm.
don't mind. I kind of find that kind of thing fun at this point, so
That's fine.
yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that scene was not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. It was fine. I I don't know.
All right. Sounds good. So that'll be capping it off for tonight. Tomorrow night, we're going to be streaming at 7 with Paul still, right? Doing a gaming stream.
Yes. I
But
am down to do that.
since we don't have Loki, maybe we should talk off stream about what we're going to do. Should we just say
Yeah,
we're going to
I
at least
I
be there
got
at 7? So,
I got some thoughts for that for us to talk about off stream. So
okay, cool. Well, we'll see
yeah.
you guys at 7 with our
Yeah.
good friend Paul. So.
See you later. Let us know what you guys thought about the Marvels. And yeah, we will catch you in the next video.
Have a
Bye.
fantastic evening.